Hey guys, my name is Johan. I'm 26 years old currently, living in Sydney, Australia. I've just decided to start this YouTube channel to sort of document my Looksmaxxing journey. So I am pretty short. I am exactly my dad's height. If anything, I'm probably a centimeter or two taller than my dad. When I wake up in the mornings, currently, if I get a really good night's sleep, like we're talking maybe 8-9 hours, I wake up at about 167 centimeters, which I think is 5'6", I think, but I'm not completely sure. But on the days that I don't get good sleep, I wake up at 164, so a whole inch shorter, which I think is 5'5". God knows, I don't use feet and inches. Growing up, I never really looked at height as being an issue, and I think my parents sort of just told me that I just have to accept myself for who I am, and whoever I get with just has to accept the person I am too. And you know, you're all worthy of love, and you know, all that other bullshit, I guess. And my parents, they sort of pat me on the back, sucked my dick a bit, and just told me, there, don't cry, you know, everyone's worthy of love, and you know, like all that other bullshit. Like, obviously everyone's worthy of love, obviously, but we don't live in an idealistic world, do we? So I'm single, I'm Muslim, so I don't have sex, still a virgin, which doesn't really bother me that much, personally. I never really cared about my height until it was sort of made apparent to me by other people that I was short. So I've got a couple stories. I've got maybe 2 stories I want to talk about. So where to begin? And sorry if I take long pauses. I'm just trying to figure out how to put my thoughts into words. But anyway, one story, I was working in a cafe. This lady that I knew would sort of give me hints that she was like looking at me, or she thought I was handsome or something. I don't know, I'm not a mind reader. But she would always make comments like, oh, you look good today, your arms are so big. And I remember when I was working one time, just making a coffee, I had my hands on the jug, on the steam wand, and my hands were sort of like this, and she's feeling on my bicep like this, and she's going, wow, you got big arms. So clearly she must have like had some sort of interest in me. I had no interest in her, for reference. And she would always talk about my height. Like, she'd always be like, man, like, I wish you were taller. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why? I don't wish that. Why do you wish that? And she'd just go, oh, I don't know, and you know, play these fucking games. And I didn't pay it any attention. And then I remember another time I was making a coffee, and she walks up and she goes, oh, Johan, you're here. And then she walks to me and she goes, wow, I never noticed how short you were. This was like when I first started working there, basically. And then I sort of just smile and just look at her like, what the fuck? What type of a rude thing is that to say? You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily rude, because it's sort of like telling a flat-chested girl, wow, I never noticed your chest was so flat. Like, what the fuck? She doesn't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear that I'm short. Like, I know I'm short. But again, it never bothered me until I actually started dealing with more people that I was actually interested in. So like I mentioned, this lady, I wasn't interested in her. She was like 40, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not what I want. And so I started, you know, branching out, talking to girls and that. I think I'd sort of been talking to girls since I was 23, because from, oh no, it'd be 24, because from the ages of like 19 to about 24, for about 5 years, I was talking to this one woman. Very lovely woman, but we were just different people. Anyway, after that, I talked to, you know, maybe 6 or 7 other girls. And one thing I always noticed, bro, and like, cause nobody tells you this, so I sort of had to figure this shit out on my own. But if the woman is shorter than you, she thinks you're way hotter than you actually are, which is insane. Because I'm the exact same person, but because she's sort of looking up at me, all of a sudden I'm attractive. And again, nobody told me this. I had to figure this out. So there were 2 girls that I was dealing with that were significantly shorter than me. I'm already short to begin with. So the first one was obviously the first girl I was talking to. She was a lot shorter than me. She was, I don't even know how short she was. She was short enough that she was sort of at my mouth level, her forehead sort of thing. And the other one I was talking to, actually was about the same height. No, she was actually up to my eye level. Yeah, so she was a bit shorter than me. And you know, they were both like really interested in me, but I remember like they would call me tall. It's funny, both of them would tell me that I'm 3 things: tall, dark, handsome. Which, dark maybe, like I'm brown skin, but like tall and handsome, I mean, I'm not ugly, but I'm not like a fucking Chad, you know, walking around with like BBC. Nah, bro, like I'm a normal guy. I'm like, you know, living check to check. I'm like barely making by. I'm not like particularly attractive, but I'm not particularly unattractive anyway. But they would make me seem like I was like the hottest thing walking earth. And then the other girls I was talking to, it was like such a fucking mission to try to get them to initiate a conversation. Like I'd be like, you know, I'm a pretty like normal, friendly guy, so I'd ask him, you know, how's your day? Have you eaten? What's happening? Anything crazy happen? And you always get hit with the same responses, like, nope, nothing's happened. You know, I slept well. It's bullshit. But the other 2 girls that I mentioned, I would tell them, I'd be like, you know, how's your day? And they'd be like, good, handsome, even better now. Like, just shit like that. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why is the difference night and day between these girls, bro? And I'm the exact same person. The difference is the height. My height hasn't changed, but it's changed relative to the people I'm talking to. I don't talk about this stuff to sort of be like a sob story, but it's just a reality that I think doesn't really get talked about enough, at least in my generation. Like when I was growing up, you know, YouTube was barely getting started. Forget Reddit, forget Facebook and all this shit. Like there wasn't even social media. I had a fucking Nokia fucking brick phone. You know what I mean? The internet's changed everything. This height thing, I try and explain to people how much of a problem it is just because of statistics. I am average height for a woman in Australia. Like that's fucking tough. For reference, I'm half Lebanese, half Malaysian. And I'm taller than the average Malaysian, but I think I'm just about bang on average height for Lebanese. Being in Australia, the average height I believe is 175, and I'm like 168 on a good day. You know, so I'm short. I'm shorter than average, and I'm average height for a woman. I definitely get bullied by younger women, especially about my height. Like they make it a fucking point. Like it's like a part of my like fucking identity all of a sudden that I'm short, which is dumb, right? Like the example I mentioned before, I'm not gonna go up to a flat-chested woman and being like, oh, we're still flat today, or some shit, like, or like pancake, hey pancake, what's happening? Like, nah, bro, that's fucking rude. But a girl can go up to a short man and be like, hey, shorty, like, you know, how's the weather down there, or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, they'd always say some bullshit like that, and I get pissed off, not because that they're calling me short. I'm happy with my height. Like, the only reason I'm not happy about it is because other people aren't happy about it, which is fucking bullshit. But it's the reality we live in. I've really gotten sick of this teasing. I'm really into Looksmaxxing and all this shit, and this channel I really want to dedicate to people who think that a lot of this shit is like fake or like pseudoscience, because a lot of this shit sort of is pseudoscience. I mean, I was on the height maxing Reddit about a week ago, and they were talking about like banded sleeping and how banded sleeping can make you grow taller, but they talk about it without talking about supplements and water, and especially sleep. Like, I think sleep is the #1 thing for height. Like I mentioned, if I get 9 hours sleep, bang, I'm tall, at least taller than normal. But yeah, so I really wanted to make this channel to sort of show people this height maxing thing. I think it is possible. I don't expect to be fucking 6'5". Like, I'm not trying to be a fucking tower. Like, I know it's a bit unreasonable. But if I'm 167 now, my goal is to be 175. I do want to be average, at least. And I don't think that's completely alien from expectation. So I'm gonna be documenting myself maybe once a week, talking about my mental health and that. In fact, I might just record another video after this talking about my plans for the future and my mental health and stuff like that. Yeah. Guys, I really want to make like a community behind this, so if you guys want to talk about your own experiences, just drop your name, your age, and your heights down in the comments, and then let's just get going. Let's start creating a community that's a bit more science-based and a bit more holistic in our height maxing approach. That's really what I want to do. So yeah, hope you're all well. Thanks for listening to me fucking rant about what is essentially just bullshit. Like, height, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but it matters when it pertains to like mental health and shit. So hope you're all well. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, because I'm gonna be really serious about this, just documenting myself, and I hope you all can join me for the journey. All right, peace guys, thank you.